Welcome to Her Wisdom Collective, a sanctuary for stories, truth, and transformation. I'm Lucy Ibarra. I am your host, and each week I sit down with women and others who are redefining what it means to grow, to heal, to speak up, and to take up space. This is a celebration of the messy, the magical, the bold, and the becoming. Here, no one is too loud, too sensitive, too ambitious, or too much. Because in this collective, your voice is your power, and your wisdom is worth sharing. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Her Wisdom Collective. Like always, I am so very honored to be here with all of you. And today, I have something so special going on. I know I say it after beginning every single podcast, but this one is truly amazing. I am so excited that I will be welcoming my first male guest, our first man who's going to come in here and share with us a little bit about where they are at in supporting us as women in their work and just embodying what they need to center in, ground in, and show up as. So without further ado, I would love to welcome Eric Bigger. Eric, welcome.
Lucy, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. And honestly, ladies, gentlemen that have not listened to my podcast, this one is for you. I definitely wanted to do something special for you. And ladies, if you would like to welcome your significant others, your partners, please, this is going to be the one to listen to. I feel like today is going to be magic, not just for myself, but for my entire audience, both men and women. So, Eric.
Amen. Well
Yes,
said.
yes. Welcome. Mm-hmm. So I would love to chat about everything with you.
Right.
But first off, let's start. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
That's a big question to integrate, right?
Yes.
Where do I start? I'm just a man from Baltimore, Baltimore, Maryland, born and raised, moved to LA 2010.
Okay.
Bought a one-way ticket, had $1,000. I knew one person. I followed my heart, my intuition. I thought I was going to go to grad school. So I visited USC, UCLA, and it didn't work out.
Okay.
So I had to go and find work with a college degree. Mind you, prior to coming, I had a government job in DC. I said no. So I followed my heart, listened to my intuition, came to LA. Grad school thing didn't work out. So I found myself working not a 9 to 5, a part-time job, making $8 an hour with a college degree. And I graduated with honors.
Right.
How humbling. So it was a little confusing because I'm like, why can't I get a decent job here? I mean, I applied to like high-end hotels. I think even like some real estate companies just to be like the welcome guy. Like I couldn't get a job nowhere. And from that, I did background acting, and I just was on this journey of like, why am I not where I need to be? I graduated from school, I have a degree, and when I realized LA don't care about your degree. LA doesn't care about your past.
Yeah.
We don't care about who you were in Baltimore and Maryland. So I had to figure out who I was and why I'm here. And I started to study successful people. Tony Robbins to be one. He's a Pisces like me. And I was just I read his biography and read his book, Unlimited Power. And I'm like, oh, he goes through stuff too. He has problems too. He has pain. Okay. And then from Tony, he went to Bob Proctor, Les Brown, and all these great gurus. What I didn't realize was that I was studying successful people to become successful. But that wasn't my intention. I was trying to learn because I was like, I need to figure out myself in life. As a Man Thinketh, Think and Grow Rich, The Secret. All these books inspired me to change, to be amazing, to be well. And over time, working at Chic Shoes, by the way. I was a store clerk, shoe store in the Beverly Center, $8 an hour. Oh. From there, once I started applying the principles from these books, Think and Grow Rich, As a Man Thinketh, The Secret, my life started to change. I had booked like a commercial, doing background, a Genio commercial. That got me in a space where I was like, damn, I made like $15,000. I started making commission at the job. And then someone came in like, hey, would you want to be a manager at Abercrombie and Fitch? I'm like, okay, right? At this time, I had momentum because I was only doing background acting and making $8 an hour at this job. And so then once And I think this is important for people to listen in relationships, in your profession, your craft. So I get the job at Amick Harmon Fitch. I'm making more money. I'm getting benefits. I bought me a car. The commercial helped with the car because I made a lot of money.
Right.
What happened was I got comfortable. I got content. And I was doing good because I grew, right? Like I progressed so much, all the work I was doing because I was curious. I stopped doing the work. I got comfortable. So I think like in relationships, life, when we get to that destination, that outcome of what we want, we stop putting in the income. And the income is an investment of the energy, the time, the consistency, and the commitment of the thing we say we want over time. So the guy stopped giving up flowers. He stopped being romantic. He stopped saying the nice things. Once he's fully in the partnership relationship, you stop doing the things that got you the promotion. I mean, look at athletes. They get a big contract. They start working as hard.
Right.
And sometimes those things park us and we can't move that car anymore because we got complacent. And so for me, my intentions have always been about growth. I want to grow. I want to win. I want to change. So for me, deep down, I realized over time, now that in this moment, that I have a mission in life. I'm mission led. And it's hard for me to just settle in life, relationships, and opportunities because it's something in me that wants to come out. And I can't explain it to people. And it frustrates me at times because I want people to get it. And I used to do this a lot with my family. We'll project onto them what I think they should do, but that's not their purpose. And that's not my job. I'm not their father, right? So I said, okay, I got to be the evidence. I got to continue to scale, ascend, and be the voice, be the reason, but be the evidence. And boom, TV came into my life 2017, 7 years into LA, and I'm all over the world. 10 weeks on TV. I'm like, wow, like ABC The Bachelorette, I am black, you know, I love white people, I love all people, but that's the first time in my life at 29 that I saw a divide in the world. And I was like, from Baltimore, I grew up around predominantly black people. So I don't know that exists. And I was like, wow. And when you have success coming from where I come from, you're Hollywood. So what I actually embodied was survivor's remorse, having guilt around success, but people don't talk about that. So you just keep going. So your people don't accept you. You're accepted by these people, but they can't relate to you. So then it's like, I have to accept me. I have to relate to me in every way, as well as I'm on the journey of evolving and healing and transforming. And then years go by, more TV shows, brand deals. I mean, I'm living my dreams. Podcasts, books, you name it. I've done it all. And I got to a point in 2023 where I was just empty. I'm like, what is this about? I had a dark night of the soul. It broke me. But what it broke was the fake identity I was in because I thought that's who I should be to get love. And because I didn't get that growing up the way I wanted it, I felt like I had to prove myself. I had to perform. I had to do these things and play these characters and then realize no one cares. I better care. So when I hit that wall and I broke down and I was just like, you know what, God? I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I'm lost. The relationship I was in at the time was heartbreaking and I had a lot of betrayal from friends in my past life. But this was part of the program. This was part of the paradigm where I was going because I had a prayer that said, God, remove any and everyone that doesn't belong and that's not for my highest good from my life. Certain people I didn't think would be removed. And I was like, people, be careful what you pray for.
Yes.
So I say all that to say, that heartbreak, that awakening led me to doing cacao and Joshua Tree of 2024 with Sia. She's like a shaman. She holds space, plant medicine. And then I went to Peru in May of that year to sit with St. Pedro. We hiked like 4 different mountains, Machu Picchu, the Inca Trail, El Sagande, and then I had like 2 journeys of it. And I mean, like, I feel like something left my soul.
Wide open.
Like, I was like, I felt clear, like, you know, like, whoa, baby, God, what is this? And I judge plant medicine because I've never smoked weed. I never did any drugs in my life. Like, I drink when I was in that scene. I stopped drinking in like 2019. I'll have a drink if I'm celebrating, but I don't drink. I judged it because I'm like, "Ah," but I was so low. I was like, I've been praying, I've been meditating, doing breath work, taking these, I have healers, astrologers. And God just knew I needed that. And the cacao, thanks to, grandmother cacao, she opened me up and I got introduced to plant medicine. And I come off a mountain and here comes this angel. This beautiful soul.
Yes.
I wasn't looking for no relationship,
Yes.
no love, no partner. I'm broken. I need to heal. Stay away from me. Trust me, you don't want me, right? I need to heal, but I always feel like things come when you're not looking for them. And so when I met Annabelle, I was like, wow, who are you? Why are you here? This is God. This is not me.
Right.
So to make a long story short, I had to go through the journey to be on a mission, to have perspective, to have experience, to help someone else that's going to be in the same position. And I'm here today just telling people that you can be yourself. It's okay. And you will be accepted. You will be loved. And you'll eventually get where you want to go if you don't give up.
Right. Wow. Thank you. That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I think that when you've been on that path, like we both have, I think that you really do come from a place of truly believing that everything that's happened to us in the past, the good and the bad, when you're not in victim mode, because we do step into victim mode, victim mentality, now you realize this has been it's been lined up for this to get you to a mountain in Peru, come down and find Annabelle.
Right. It's what are the odds? And here's the thing. The person who I sat with, she did me a great favor and said, you should just come. The ancestors are telling me you should come. Just get your flight. Everything's taken care of. I was like, I'm gone. And I was telling her after the journey, you're going to find your divine union in LA. You're going to find your divine union. And I guess I was talking to myself.
Wow.
Thinking it was her.
Wow.
Right? But in my message in Peru was, can I receive? I have a challenge to receive. And so I was trying to give a message to someone else that was for me. But I couldn't really.
You have a hard time receiving.
Right. So
wow.
It's a beautiful journey because I wouldn't change anything. And I think for so long, most of my life, I always try to fit in. And I knew I stood out. But I didn't want to stand out. I want to belong. I want to be accepted. And I feel like that's why in 2010, God was like, nope, go to LA. Go figure it out. Go mess up. Go make mistakes. And then eventually you'll be on a platform. You'll have a space where you can speak and tell your story and help others heal and evolve and become their best self. So, like you said, everything is for reason and there's no accidents.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I love that you're sharing that. Thank you for being vulnerable with that whole story. I love the fact that you have really created something with it. I know that you talk a lot about being spiritually fit.
Yes.
What does that mean to you? And let me add a layer to that.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you as a man, an embodied man?
Yeah, great question. I've always been spiritual. And I think the hardest thing for me is that I never knew how to showcase it in a way where people could accept it, but people always depended on it from me. My friends always called me to pray. If they needed advice, they would call me. If they need anything. And in the journey of that awakening, I didn't have nothing but the gym and prayer. That's the only thing that never left me. I left it, I probably gave it 70%, 80%. I tell people that the TV sector and the reality sector that I was in was like a mistress. But the God within and the gym was always my partner. But I disabled it at times because I thought this was enticing and this was more fulfilling. So as an embodied man, I mean, it's really being connected to self, being connected to the heart, being connected to your oneness, being still, having patience, being grounded, but not being afraid to be who you naturally are. And I think men, it's not that we're afraid to feel, we don't know how to feel. I just did a journey not too long ago, St. Pedro again, and one of the messages that came to me is that I'm grateful to feel my feelings. Men don't feel grateful or thankful enough to feel what they feel because we feel like we're going to be judged and someone's going to project weakness or we're not enough onto us. And for me, I'm him. Bring it. Let's go to war. Because when I was in that dark phase, I don't care how much money you made or who you thought you was or what you had. I still was helping people when I was broken. So without anything or everything, I had that. And I could depend on that. And so over the years since that awakening, I just doubled down, leaned more into it. And now I'm just making it known. Like, yeah, we spiritually fit over here. You need a prayer? You need a prayer?
Let's go.
Hey, you want a hug? You need love? Hey, I'm going to hold you accountable too. However you want to go, we can take it there. So I'm not afraid to bring my full self into the picture. I kind of hid from that part of me because it was weak, or I just felt like I didn't know how to embrace it in front of everybody because of judgment. But when you're going through so much pain emotionally and spiritually, I don't care how you feel because I know what I'm growing through. Right. And so now I feel like that was God planting that into my third eye and opening it up and bringing it into the world so people can be spiritually fit. This is spiritual fitness right here.
Right.
Spiritual
Absolutely.
fitness is tapping into something within you to make you feel good over time in a healthy way that your soul wants. It's all about the person finding their soul calling and doing what's right for them, not the world. To take your autonomy back, to take your power back, to have remembrance, because we give so much energy to the things outside of ourselves. I have some clients come to call and they just cry for an hour. I'm like, great, I'm a space holder. Just walk. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. You don't have people to hold space for you. Or some days, like, you know, we're working out really hard or really intense. So it depends. But spiritual fitness is up to the person. It's customized to your soul and to your essence and to your presence, right? It's not this one thing that everybody has to do. No, it's the one thing you have to do. You might need to just walk every day and just talk to yourself. You might just need to sit still and meditate. But it really is connecting you to your higher self and to that divine and to that heart. And the thing about it is God has brought so many wives and women into my business, even kids. I'm getting so many calls from like the mothers of the sons. The sons are lacking confidence and they don't feel safe. And, you know, and the last but not least, I got to get the fathers. I got to get the husbands because they need it the most. They're really struggling, but they'll never say it. I know it because I'm getting them phone calls.
Yes.
And I understand, hey, man, you need a hug. Come here. Let's hug. I need you to, you can cry. It's okay.
Yes. And that is so needed, honestly, right now, because I think that men, you've been taught to show up without feelings. Right. A robot. Go to work, provide, just do what you need to do, right? You go to work. The wife does what she needs to do. There's expectations and roles for each one. Yeah. And I think that when a man has that space to just be vulnerable and to be able to share what they're feeling, and especially with a significant other, that's huge. I love that I can be that person for my husband, and he definitely provides that for me. We're still, we're works in progress. Yeah. But I love how you do that. I love how you and Annabelle do that for each other. And like I mentioned to you earlier, I'm so grateful for that because of the fact that Annabelle gets that side of her nurtured. Yeah. But she also shows up fully for us. Yeah. And that's huge. You don't dim her light when it comes to all that. Yeah. So touching on that a little bit, I do want to go into your background a little bit as far as your childhood and how your upbringing has structured who you are right now in this world and as a man.
Where do you want to start? How deep do you want to go? How far back? I mean, Mom, I love you, but hey, the truth needs to be told.
Let's do it.
And that's so. But anyway, shouts out to my mom. I love my mom. The interesting thing about my life now, that's why God, for me, I could never get away. I had a mother wound growing up. I didn't get the love and the nurturing from my mom that I wanted. But over time, I've talked to my mom, and she's told me things that I didn't know until later in life. At the time, I probably wouldn't be able to process or understand. And she was saying that when you were born, first of all, I had a twin that didn't make it. So I was premature. And my mom prayed over me on day one that the family curse end with me. And I'm like, what? So my life has been intense, emotionally, mentally. Like I've been through a lot of just breakthroughs and pain, just spiritual. I would say spiritual stuff, right? But there was a pattern in the family where the masculine somewhat depended on the feminine, or the feminine took care of the masculine, right? My mom didn't want that for me. And I got that, but I still felt like, Mom, you didn't love me. But as I got older, and I'm like, well, what happened when she said, well, you know, when you were this age, my mother also lost her brother at a certain point in her life, that I didn't ever process losing someone in a devastating way, what that would do to your psyche, your mind, someone you were close to, right? I think I was 5 or 6 at the time. So all the love, all the attention, all the affection that I thought I should have gotten, I didn't even know where she was at in her life. So I was holding her unconsciously as a kid. You don't love me. You're not there. You don't. But she had to take care of me and my sister. She was a single mom. So to fast forward to now, working with so many moms. And my astrologer told me, she said, Eric, you know what's funny? Your North Node is in Pisces. You know, Pisces represents the sign Aphrodite. It's the mom who didn't want to leave the sun. And I was like, interesting. She said, so in your life, you're always going to attract moms. She said, also, you have 4 planets in Capricorn in the 4th house, which is the mother house. So you got all this masculine energy in Capricorn in your chart. So you're going to always attract those type of women. On top of that, you're going to heal your mother wound. Yes. Because you're going to help so many mothers. So in the course of the last maybe 3 years or so, I've really seen the shadow side of motherhood. And I'm like, whoa, this is mom. And then being with Annabelle, who's a mom, who has a son. So I'm able to see the opposite. I'm like, wow, I can see the gift of it.
Wow.
Right? And so like everything comes full circle. I did Annabelle's rebirth. And I'm like, Mom, like I'm just how I feel about the feminine in general has really changed. Of course, because I work with so many of them. But I think now as part of my purpose, and I will ask myself, why do these women trust me? What is it about me? Feel safe.
100%.
And that's any man in the world, no matter who you are, women want to feel safe. I feel like the world is in chaos and destruction because women and kids don't feel safe. Why? Because men don't feel safe. We're not in our hearts. We're not grounded. We're fighting for position emotionally, energetically, spiritually. We don't know that. We're putting it on material and this and gender. No, it's beyond that. We never had the space or was forced in a place to work on ourselves emotionally because we had the power.
Right.
So when we had the power, we didn't do the best thing we could have done with it. We just stood on our power. While women, right, the feminine has been suppressed, oppressed. They've been having things taken from them. And so they're coming. Their resiliency is different, right? Because look, now they're rising. Ooh, now the women got the power, guys. Hey, man. Hey, man. Look, man. Hey, man. You better be in some spiritual, mental, emotional power. So what I realize is that the thing of the past with women just being someone that's someone's arm candy or looking a certain way, that's over with.
Yes.
The guy that just has all the money and has all the power and status, that's over with. Like, you can have those two people, but a man that's in his divine masculine that wants to feel safe and happy, he's going to want a woman of substance who owns and understands her power, right? And then the woman who has the substance, that has the money, that has the thing, she don't care about your status. You better have some depth, you better have some soul, and you better have some truth.
Yes.
And that's where the world is going on an energetic, spiritual level. You can't see it, but it's happening. I'm seeing it. Like, we got to get in our hearts, brothers. Like, I'm sorry. As much as I know I want to make a lot of money too, I want to do it great. We got to get in our hearts.
Right.
We got to get in our hearts.
Right.
Because if women don't feel safe, doesn't matter how much you have.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
It's so powerful. And I've said this various times. Annabelle and I have talked about this. For me, the sexiest thing in my husband is his vulnerability.
Yeah.
Be vulnerable with me. Share what you're feeling, where you're at. And I love that. I love that because I understand that he is coming from a world where that's not how you do things.
Yeah.
So to rewire that, to relearn that, he's about to be 55. And, to be at that age and have the willingness to tap into that part of yourself is amazing. And also thank you for acknowledging how you've grown with your mom.
Yeah, that's been my Achilles heel. That's been my biggest challenge. I'm like, damn, my mom not love me. I just always had this story.
Yes.
And that's why I love my mom, because my mom is so real. And she said something, this was years ago. She said, son, I hear you, but when you gonna stop the story? When the story gonna change? I was like, damn, I can't keep using this story.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I was like, you're right.
Yeah.
And then once I hear more of her story and understanding, oh, well, what? You went through what? How did you get through that?
Yes, absolutely.
It's like my eyes open up and I'm like, no. How did you okay.
Yeah,
all right.
and you know, I have similar conversations with my grown kids, and
Yeah.
it's one of those things, you know, I obviously understand your mom in the aspect of losing a sibling. I lost my sister and her kids in an accident, and it's,
Yeah.
I remember in that point of my life just being in survival mode so that I would forget to feed the kids the days of everything happening, right? The funeral and everything. So it's not to justify what we've been through. It's just now we understand, now we can validate our kids' feelings, and how do we grow from here? How do we grow not just to heal your wounds as my child, but also to heal that relationship that we can now move forward in as understanding that version of ourselves and showing up as whole as possible where we're currently at to really move forward. So, and not just in the relationship as parents, but now, you know, I see my kids and I see my son specifically, how he is raising his son, and the cycle breaker, or however it was that your mom said to you, you acknowledge that this child, you know, my son, your mom seeing you this way, is healing the lineage.
Yeah, I'm chosen. Like, it's some days I'm like, man, the ancestors on my back. Like, man, I'm just trying to relax. And it's funny because in my process of my life, I remember being on a TV show and we had a psychologist, and she was saying, Eric, everybody was coming to you to get help. I was like, I need the help the most. And she said, look, you chose this life. She said, I know it's hard, but you can do it. And I said, but why is it that when I want to take a break, I got more work to do? She said, that's the life you chose.
Yes.
Here you are.
Yes.
So now instead of because I was talking to Annabelle about like the complaining is the boy archetype, right? When you complain, that's the boy. When you just get it done, that's the man.
Yes.
So allowing that, and this is why men need men and men need boys, right? And boys need men. It's because you need that masculine presence to understand what it's like to be a man, to be a boy, or to be innocent, or to want to thrive. And I didn't have that. So I had to go through life figuring out, like, that's what I said. I was reading the books. I was like, Tony Robbins was my inspiration. He's like, come on, let's go. And then I realized, like, I became the man, and I'm still becoming the man I can look up to.
Yes.
And that's what I figured out. And that's what I'm here to do. And I tell people, I'm a role model for what to do and what not to do. Not to be perfect. So you take hits, and I'm willing to take the hit if it's going to put me on a cross, but my people get to walk free.
Yeah.
I'm okay, because I wouldn't have got this far by accident. It's a reason. Someone got to sacrifice.
Yes. And you're right. Those ancestors are counting on you.
Yeah.
And we talk a lot about responsibility, right? That responsibility aspect of it. And when you fully step into that, you actually do it with joy. There are days where it feels a little heavy, and you're just, like you're saying, like, hey, relax a little bit, you know? But when you step into it and you do take that minute to breathe deeply, gather yourself, you're almost like going back to war, this spiritual warfare, right? Like everything that you have to come up against with such happiness, joy, and conviction.
And compassion and grace for yourself. Because the thing about that part of life that people, maybe they don't talk about, is when your ancestors might want to stop you from going to another timeline because they haven't experienced it, or maybe they don't feel, or, you know, and I'm like, no, we good. Like, let me go to this mountain. Let me climb Machu Picchu. Let me smell the air. And let me come back. And then look, here goes love, right?
Right.
So
amazing.
A lot of times it's not always comfortable to make the jump, to make the leap, to change, but you have to do it, or it's worth it.
Right.
Because my life has been soul led. And my body's trying to catch up to my soul. My body's like, bro, relax, man. Take your time. We're here. We want to feel safe. So,
it is exciting, though.
Yeah.
I crack up. I tell Annabelle sometimes that I go through these moments where things come up for me, and I'm not complaining about it at all. But I'm kind of like, okay, I see. Like, I want more. I tell Annabelle sometimes, I'm like, I want more. I walk through that fire, and there's the gold. So, not that I'm manifesting more, but I'm equipped to deal with it.
Yeah.
So that's huge. So let me ask you right now that we're talking about stepping into who you are, what would you say was, I know there's a lot, but what would you say was the biggest aha moment or epiphany that you had as far as that you were shifting, that you noticed something and you realized, I'm walking the path I'm supposed to walk and I'm shifting, and this is a fork in the road?
Yeah, I mean, there were so many moments. I think the first moment that comes up is when I'm in Copenhagen, Denmark, and I'm on an actual TV show. I got cameras on my face. But I remember when I was in Baltimore, and all my friends was like, man, you help everybody. You're always helping people. Stop helping them. And I used to feel bad, like, because then there'd be parts of my life where I'm like, these people are not around. I feel alone. But I remember that moment, and like, this is God said, yeah, you were supposed to help them people. Look how I'm helping you right now. You on national TV. You got camera. So I never regret that part of myself. So that was one big moment. And then coming out of that, where people will follow me around, I'm just like, what's happening? Like I've realized like my life has changed. Like my life is not the same. People see me as something else. And then going into like the dark phase of like life or pain, where I'm just over something. Like I know when I hit a ceiling, like, I can't do this no more. I can't fake it, or I can't be here. But most times I always know, it just don't feel good in the process. Like when in 2023, the relationship and all that time from 2022 to 2020, I already knew what I was in was for a greater good. I just couldn't see it, because also at that time in the dark night, so my dad was in and out of the hospital. Right? And I thought my dad was going to transition. And so all I had was prayer. I couldn't send him no money. I had to go to Baltimore and be with him. I also was with someone who was, I don't know if I'm trying to find the right term, suicide ideation. So I was dealing with a lot of darkness around that time. And it didn't make sense. But with my dad, and it was all happening at once. I was having an identity crisis. I was dealing with this person, my dad, and I was like, okay, God, all right. Yeah, you taking me through the ringer.
Yes.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
And it was a switch. I think that's what it is. Now I'm answering your question. It was a switch where I felt like, I can do this. Bring it. Let's go.
Yeah.
I want more. Like, it was like, it's like you was in a fire, and the fire couldn't burn me. I was like, let's go. And I was like, I got stronger in a way that I can't explain. You can only feel it. And I also got to a point, I think Annabelle said this, I'm sitting in this chair. Maybe for a man, I can't speak for women. I think as a man, you have to be heartbroken to really fall deep in love. And I'm not saying from a partner, it could be from your mom, it could be from a friend, it could just, because that heartbreak for me was like, wow, my heart was really broken. I'm like, I could feel it, but I didn't want to tell nobody.
Yes.
But outside of that, once I got on the other side, I'm at the mountain, like, yeah, I got my baby. It's all worth it.
Yes.
I see you at the mountaintop.
Yes.
Right? So that was a turning point where I'm like, I got spiritual power. Because I started praying, I started moving things. But if it wasn't for my dad, they always say the way to the son is through the father. He was in a very challenging situation that woke up my soul. And I've never seen my dad cry. I'm like, he was on FaceTime. He's like, son, I need you to come home. I need your energy. I'm like, my dad's crying? Like, he's never, I mean, his tears was like, how, I don't know if you ever seen Mike Tyson crying. And like, is he laughing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, Pops, you good? Like, it was like that type of cry.
Yeah.
But I said, bet, I'll be home. I came home, prayed. He was in the hospital, then came home in 2 days. Boom. I was right before I left for south of France. I was speaking. I go to south of France, he's back in the hospital. So I'm in a different country, different world. I'm praying again. But every time I'm praying, he good. So I didn't even know. I'm actually writing about in this book, my book coming out this June, Spiritual Fitness.
Wow.
It's a chapter called Prayer, and this story is in the book. And so when you see my prayers online, I'm not just praying because I can pray. Oh, I'm praying because I had to pray through some things.
Yes.
So my prayer have a different energy and frequency on it,
Right.
but I feel like those prayers kept me sane and safe, but also protected my dad. And shouts out to the prayer. Thank you, God. Right?
Absolutely. Amen. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, prayer, how does it move through your relationship right now? How does it manifest itself in your relationship? Because it's one thing for one of you to be spiritually fit.
Yeah.
One thing for one of you to believe in prayer.
Yeah.
But when you both do the way that both of you do,
Yeah.
woo, let's talk a little bit about that, please.
Well, see, Annabelle, before I met Annabelle, I was telling the universe, telling God, once I got on my last, I just need a spiritual woman. I need a spiritual one because I got a mission and it's heavy, and I know I need a strong spiritual woman on my side because I'm going to war. Once I'm in the field, I'm in the field. So I didn't really connect with that part of her prayer side. I knew she prayed, but her spiritual side, I really was. So I don't know, maybe like 8 months or a year. I don't know. My spirit always speaks to me. And I was like, in order for me to ground what we have, I got to start praying for what we have. And so for almost maybe 18 months or so, I sent her a prayer every day. Even badly, she got a prayer tonight her time, but this morning my time. And so what is done for us is to keep us grounded, to keep us nurtured in that spirit, and to honestly drop us deeper into our intimacy for one another, and for that to be an anchor of what we do and how we do it. And it's interesting because there was one time I forgot, and we kind of had a different experience. So for me, I think it's an anchor for the relationship. It protects it, it enhances it, and it gives us certainty in ways we can't explain. We just know, and it's building my spiritual currency, right? It's building my spiritual depth. And not only I pray for her, I pray for the family, I pray for our families. This is every day. This is not just until something changes.
Right.
Like, I'm not just sending flowers because I want to kiss. No, we still bringing the flowers. We still praying. So for me, it's part of my lifestyle. It's part of our partnership. It's part of the relationship. But I do think when you are in a partnership, God has to be the first partner you commit to, and then the partner that you have. Because in my last situation, I made my relationship God, and not God the relationship. You get what I mean?
Yes.
And so I realized that the more I submit to that, for me, it's better for us instead of the other way around.
Absolutely.
And it's an anchor. And it's fun. Like, it's not like, oh my God, you're so holy. Like, no, we get to pray. I make God dope. I make God cool. Like, I'm him. What you want to do? We make it cool. It's not like this esoteric, religious, holy getaway. No, we talk about those things, but we make God cool, because anybody that I know that's made it in life, that's highly successful, trust me, they talk about God.
Absolutely.
You might not know, you might not hear it, but trust me, they got some God moving around in their stratosphere.
For sure.
Yeah.
And what do you feel about that aspect of it, as far as the man leading in the prayer? I think it's powerful, but what do you feel your role is with that?
I mean, that's just who I am, though. Like, I feel like every man should lead in that part of the relationship and partnership, because that is the first home you enter. And when that home is sacred within and safe within, the home that you're really in is even better. But we don't know that because we don't have context. And there's people who've been on stages, very religious, or prophets or gurus, are being exposed, or we don't really trust. So now we don't know what to believe. But I believe in a partnership, the masculine, which is the man, submits to the God, right? And that God gives the vision to the man and gives it over to the woman. And the vision doesn't mean just for him, but for the family. Because the way to protect your spouse as a man is to pray for them as much as you take care of them. because the spirits in the world, different entities that's out there. So I think men don't feel safe in that part of their being because that's the feminine essence, right? So they don't know how to do it unless it's structured like the church. So they stay boxed in of how they do it because that's all they know. And some people are not willing to go beyond that because then they think they're going against whatever authority they're giving power to.
Right.
Where I question, like, well, why do I feel this? Why do I think that? Where's this coming from? And how did I meet this woman? I know my God.
Yes.
And my God knows me.
Yes.
Because she is it. You know?
Yes.
So I have experiences also in my life to confirm my certainty and my knowing. The belief, I always say belief is the prerequisite to knowing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I know. Because I've been in situations where all I had was God and a prayer. That's all I had to get me through. And when you're battle tested and you've been through more than enough and you help other people, the pattern's there, pattern recognition. I see it. Every time I do this, look what happens. So why not lean more into that for me? And when I do it, it helps. So I think men just, again, got to feel safe in that part of themselves. And I think that's what we're missing, the spiritual part.
Right.
The allowing, the trust of seeing beyond what the eyes can see. Opening up the third eye, opening up your channel, your heart. Because again, no context, who are the male leaders? We don't have no Malcolms, no Martins. I mean, who are our leaders in the world?
Yeah, yeah.
I can't name one. You're going to say athlete, entertainer? So it's a lot that's been challenged for the masculine, but it's up to us to make it different. So for me, if I got to be the man of leaders, hey, for men, let's go.
Right.
I'll lead the tribe. Let's go, guys. You ready?
Yeah.
What else we going to do? I'm not going to keep talking about it. I like to take action.
Yeah. It's how you're showing up for yourself.
Yeah.
It's how you're showing up for yourself. And that faith, I mean, it has to be so rooted. I find it interesting when I hear certain people talk about faith, and immediately when something is turbulent in their life, they are nervous. They're in such fear. You can see it. And to me, I think that that's where you really tap into your faith, where you know things are going to be okay. That's faith. Like you are definitely believing in the unseen, and it's so important. So when a man shows up like that in a relationship, it's powerful because it supports the woman in the relationship to understand that we've got this. Like we're in this together.
I got you. Don't worry about it. I tell you about when you with me, you don't think about nothing. Just relax. I got you.
Yeah, that's safety.
Just receive.
That's safety right there.
I got it.
Huge, huge.
And if I don't have it, I will get it.
Figure it out.
Because that's the whole point. The more you can, soften and be gentle and just be in receiver mode, the more I can amplify what's going on.
Right. And that's where we can show up.
Right.
We say our strength is in our softness as women.
Yeah.
And we can show up in our softness because we feel safe in that.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about your work. I have watched a few of your Man Mondays.
Man Mondays or Soul Sundays? Which ones?
Man Mondays. I've seen Soul Sundays.
Yeah.
But I've seen a few Man Mondays because now my husband has been watching them. So yes, we're excited for that.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about both. But I really do want to hone in on Man Mondays because it is geared towards the men and their work and their soul calling.
Yeah, so Man Mondays came about because it's so interesting, like the type of energy I attract in my life once I get out of. So when I went through my awakening and I got out of the whole Hollywood frequency vibration, I went into a more authentic self, a more real self. So the two guys that I attracted out of that both did time in prison. One was a Mexican guy named Carlos. Shouts out to Carlos. He did 17 years. And a brother from my neighborhood, he did 18 years. And those guys coming into my aura field, we've been connected. And so a buddy of mine, Adisa Dempsey, when I connected with him, we just built this rapport. He's solid. I mean, he's 18 years. I mean, God has seen a lot. He's been through a lot, right? So he's done the work. And I realized the work continues. There's no spaces where men feel safe. He feels safe with me. I feel safe with him. Most men feel safe with me, but they don't feel safe with people around them. And when I went to Texas to do this journey, this retreat, it was coming to me. I gotta help men. I gotta help men. So like I said, I don't like to just talk. I want to take action. So I said, look, I think it's time, brother. Like, we've been in this thing 18 months. You've been on my podcast 3 or 4 times. Let's create a space for men. And I'm willing to start it. And so I think it was February 9th was our first call, but I think we were doing lives prior to that. And the intention is for men to come in and just be men, to be vulnerable, to feel seen, felt, and heard, but just to let out what's inside. Because there's another story, a buddy of mine, which is really sad. I don't know if I can share this type of, but anyway, I just want to be clear. So I was in Texas, right? I did the plant medicine, the things I was doing. It came to me that I was supposed to help men. But prior to that journey, I met with a buddy. He had just got a relationship, really bad. And I felt like whoever he was with, emasculated him. But he was afraid to tell me he didn't feel safe with that relationship because he's a man. I said, oh, okay, boom. So then after experiencing that with him, I get a phone call from someone. And this is why it's so important, guys and women, like, we got to do the work. We got to be able to be emotionally responsible. And a buddy of mine like, hey, did you hear what happened with so-and-so? I'm like, oh, what happened? He passed. What you mean he passed? Yeah, so he was dating someone, and I guess the woman had a restraining order on him, and he lost his mind. He couldn't take it anymore. He ran down on her. Got rid of her and himself. So you got to understand, okay, I'm looking at, okay, why is this coming into my field? What is it about me that this is coming to me, that I'm connected to these men? And then I go do the journey. Boom. I'm like, I got to help men, or at least let people know that there's a space where they can feel safe. Because other than a barbershop, I don't know where men can express themselves. Maybe some of them have therapists. But there's so much going on in the world that men don't share with the collective, with people, and no one's talking about it because it's like a stigma. Oh, don't complain, suck it up, be a man. Don't let them see you sweat. Like all these phrases that's not real. Where deep down you're suffering in silence. No one's there to help you or support you. And having those experiences in my field and knowing that, not only I feel like it's my duty and my responsibility, it's like I'm a man. So I like to initiate and start things and to see what God is calling me to do in a greater way. And so we meet twice a month, Man Mondays, on Zoom, 12 p.m. Eastern, which is 9 a.m. PST. And we have these discussions and we talk about life, our emotions. I got a few men in there that are married with kids, like, you know, that they got real duties and responsibilities. I got some young men in there, some men trying to find their way back to center. And men, we're just trying to find ourselves. So I'm like, okay, I can help you find yourself because I'm still finding myself. Right. But it's enough of us talking as men. We got to start taking action and doing the work. And we got to be willing to do the work. And the work is not always comfortable. And we have a mantra in our group that says, as we grow, we become. And as we become, we grow. And as we come together, we are one. So if you're a man out there, men, come join me. Yes. Come join the group because it's needed. And it's not for, oh, I want men to heal and evolve. I want the world to be better. Yes. Because the more men that are safe in their bodies and safe in their frequency, the world is safer. Absolutely. Because every child, every partner, every person, when danger hits, you're looking for a man. Mm-hmm. Period. Yes. You know, and we got to get off the struggle bus. We got to stop complaining. We got to stop, you know, this, that, mom, want. No, we got to take responsibility. I get it. It's hard, but what else you going to do? Yes. Choose your heart, right? Yes, absolutely. But I'd rather you do the emotional work and the mental work and the spiritual work and then focus on and put more energy into that and then put it into the real work because that's going to amplify the work that brings you income. Yes. But we can't do the opposite because then we're failing the families. Mm-hmm. So it's needed.
Yeah, I love that you're doing this because I do feel like it's so important. Like you said, there are not many spaces like that. And even, here's the thing, as women, we can, you know how it is, we can come to each other. And now these communities are growing. If you don't come across somebody like Annabelle or a woman that is willing to lead us through that fire that we need to walk through, it's difficult, but you still have a girlfriend that you can call.
Yeah.
Men can have maybe one or two friends, if they even have that they can really fully vent to and just have a good cry and talk to about life, or I'm dealing with this, without, also having that situation where they share with their men, with their friends.
Yeah.
I'm going through this with my relationship. Leave her. She's this, she's that.
Right.
As opposed to the man that's going to say, what's your part in it? What are you doing? Which I've had, obviously, even girlfriends that have said to me, like, hey, well, he's amazing. Like, what did you do? And I mean, Annabelle was one of them that, we have a running joke where I was on a call with her one day and she says, Mark sounds incredible. And I'm like, I'm not calling you for that. And she, of course, but that's what you need, are those people that are going to support you in that. So for you to hold space for men to do something like that, when they can't go to their own fathers sometimes, they can't go to their children because they've got to be the strong person of the family, the leader, right? They might not be able to go to their significant other because they don't feel safe, and vice versa. So it creates this chaos under one roof. So to have a non-biased group of men that are going to be there and just take off the masks,
right,
show up for each other. That's huge. So thank you for doing that. That's a big responsibility because you answered the calling. A lot of people may hear something like that, but not do anything about it.
What's the thing? I think Annabelle says it a lot about the Gospel of Thomas. Like when you don't, whatever's in you, you don't bring forward, that in you will destroy you. So I'm not trying to get destroyed by what's in me. I want to bring it forward, even if I don't have all the evidence or the logic of the steps. I know I have to do it, and that's how I've lived my life. It's like, I have to do this. I tell people, like, the spiritual world is so real that certain things you have to go through. Like, certain people you're supposed to date, certain people you're supposed to be in partnership with. It chose you. You didn't choose it, even though you're like, yeah, but I'm mad. No. It's so much. I'm supposed to do this interview. I can't even, it's not up to me.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
100%.
It's so, I was supposed to be in Annabelle's life. She prayed for it. I asked God, so the more deeper I go and I'm learning, like, hold on. And we're all connected.
100%.
It's not like, oh yeah, I did this and I got, like, nah. Everything's there. Like you said, it's predestined. Right. Do you believe in free will or predestined?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Absolutely. I tell my husband, I appreciate about my husband that he always says, I don't want to be left behind, babe, because I have started the work with Annabelle, obviously, years ago. And he actually started working with Annabelle as well. And thank you, Annabelle. I love you. You know that for so many reasons. But, I tell my husband, there's no coincidence. Yeah. Everything that's happening to us. I same thing. I'm a big fan of Tony Robbins. I shared I'm going to go see him in November. And he's, he says life is happening for us, not to us. Yeah. So it's, when we get out of that mindset, we understand that it is. It's all laid out for us. We just need to say yes and follow the path and show up. Show up for ourselves, but then the big responsibility of what we're supposed to do for others. Because I feel like it takes a lot to take responsibility for our own lives. Yeah. And when we're fixers, we try to fix everybody around us that we feel we need to people please or get approval from. But when we actually answer the calling for where we are supposed to be, sitting here across from each other on this podcast, you doing Man Mondays, the purpose is so clear and you feel so aligned with it. Yeah. There's no saying no. Like you said, you can't say no. It's there for us. So yes, I 100% agree with that. And let's talk a little bit about Annabelle. Well, we've been talking about Annabelle, but let's talk about Annabelle in the sense of, how do you feel supported as a man in your work when it comes to how Annabelle shows up for you? And how can women do that for their significant others?
I mean, she does a lot, of work for herself. And I think I told her when I met her, I'm like, I've been on this journey alone for a long time, right? So the fact that her presence is just in my life, that's more than enough. Mm-hmm. Her just being there. And her, holding me accountable in ways she don't even know. Mm-hmm. Just how she thinks, how she speaks, how she takes care of her family and shows up for others. And I tell her, I was like, you're me and I'm you. I see me in you. You're just as intense as I am, just as nurturing as I am. Mm-hmm. We're the same. So I'm able to have that dichotomy and perspective to see like, oh, I'm like that too. I get it. Like I can be. So for me, it's more so just her essence and her femininity and her presence. I just feel like she was made for me, in a way from a soul level, not even from like aesthetically, but like just soul. It's like I said we were supposed to be together forever, like high school, So, but yeah, she's just very integrated, very grounded, very just her, and it's one of those things you can't really. It's not enough words to say, but I think her presence alone, the work she does on herself, and how she loves, right? She's great at, what I love about her is that not only she's great at loving you, but she's great at receiving love from you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it makes me think like, man, you're such a great receiver. I want to be like that because I can see.
Yes.
Like we take photos. I'm like, wow, babe, you're so happy.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, hold on. You're like happy, like real, like genuine happy. Not that she shouldn't, but I'm able to see, I'm inspired by that.
Right.
Just her happiness from being happy.
Yes.
Even for her birthday, I cried. I was like, I was giving her a gift. I'm like, man, you're so good at receiving. You're so good at receiving. Thank you for showing me how to receive. Because she is. She loves to celebrate. Where I'm like, I'm fun and I'm nonchalant. She's like, no, don't be that way. Yes. We're going to celebrate.
Absolutely.
So just everything about who she is, how she shows up, and she's a total package.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get to have her as often as you do, but when I do have her, I definitely enjoy her. Yeah. So let's talk about, now that you've shared that in regards to how she shows up for you, how you show up for her, where do you feel like us women can support men on a soul level, on a deeper level?
I mean, I think the paradigm of just respect him, give him space, bring him peace, but that's different for everybody. Mm-hmm. To understand that in every man there's a little boy who wants to be seen, but he doesn't know how to express or articulate that without feeling ashamed, guilt, or not enough. And beyond that, your man, your husband, whoever, he wants to feel safe in his masculine, in his feminine, and however he is. And I think if we can find those two things, understand that, but more important, just always be his friend. And let him know, like, I got your back. Because we need words too. I'm here for you. I know sometimes I can be a lot, but I love you so much. Because those things travel so far. Because for most men, all they're living for is their family and their woman. And the more you pour into him, he'll start living for himself, his family. We did the opposite. There's a book, it's called The Way to the Superior Man. And he states that no woman wants a man to make her his priority. She would love if you made your mission your priority.
Amen.
Right?
Absolutely.
And then, you know, but we don't get it. We think, well, I pay the bills, I provide, I protect. But like, yeah, but you're doing that to get fulfillment. But your mission is to do that for your mission. And by doing that, that mission takes care of us on top of the things you do for us.
Yes.
And like, again, we don't have reference. We don't have context. Like I said, Tony Robbins. I don't know no other man that I look up or I study that like for years that's been consistent I mean, in my culture, look at all the men, the leaders. Look at all the fighting. It's sad. Like, now that I'm older, to see my idols and the men I looked up to, you know, the artists and athletes, like, man, where's the real masculinity? But they don't know better. I can't project that they should be a way because how I'm seeing it. So the little boy in you, man, the inner child wants to be loved and seen and witnessed. He wants to feel safe and be his friend. Because as men, we got to get out of performance and we got to get into service. Got to get out of performance and we have to get into service. Yes. And it's kind of tricky. We have to get into service with our partners, with our kids, with everyone. Right. Be of service, be nurturing, be caring, you know, like really show that, because that's what a father does. That's what the masculine does. It makes you feel safe.
Right.
When your dad comes around, you're like, Dad's here, right?
Right.
You feel safe. You feel like everything is going to be okay because that's what God does for people. Makes them feel safe.
Right. Well, let's talk on that. The individual work that we do on ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? Both men and women. As a man, I think that if you show up for yourself as a man, now you're actually showing up as the authentic version of yourself for your family.
Yeah.
And our children know. Our children feel it.
Yeah.
So where would you suggest that a man starts if he is new to all of this?
Yeah.
Okay. And I know it's obviously there's so much that needs to be done and said. Yeah. But what do you think may be a breakthrough or a moment that can lead them into that space?
I think it's simple. If you just ask any man, who's your idol, who do you look up to? Who's your favorite artist, your favorite actor? Why do you like him? You like him because of his confidence. You like him because of how he makes you feel. Because you can see in him what's in you. So if we look at the greatest athletes like Michael Jordan, I feel like the greatest NBA player of all time in my eyes. What did I love about him? He believed in himself. He had work ethic. He was his will to win. Mm-hmm. They always say it's not the skill of the man, it's the will of the man. But how did he do that? Self-preservation. He put himself first. He poured into himself. He worked on his craft. He worked on the things that made him who he is today. And so as men, what is that thing in our life to make us feel good? Most men fall into the gym. We're lifting the weights. We're getting strong. And they got that. And then the next phase is the money. Okay, cool. You got the money. But what's lacking is emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Because you got those two covered, you feel like that's enough. But the family need the other three as much as they need the first two. And if you got the first two and you got the other three, the family going to leave you. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. The woman's going to be talking to someone else who's emotionally available. But because that's not highlighted or not celebrated, we don't think it's important until it is. So I would say start with who do you look up to? Who do you value? Who do you respect? Maybe you have a mentor. But I would go into, we talked about this on the last call. He said, the greatest opportunity for every man is to walk on a battlefield of himself every day. Wow. And that's where danger is, and that's where love is. But we gotta figure out, what are you afraid of? Start there. Because if we start at what we like about ourselves, like, that's great. Mm-hmm. What don't you like about yourself? What do you hate about yourself? And I know there's men out there, they have ways about themselves that they hate, and they can't get rid of them, and their wives don't know it, their kids don't know it, but they get it from their father. And it's integrated, it's in their bloodline, and they can't shake it. It's like, it's on them, but they don't want to reveal it to no one because they feel ashamed.
Right. And
so we got to go to the spaces where we don't feel competent or confident in, and start there and share with your spouse and say, babe, I know I've been working a lot and I want to really get in a better shape. Can you hold me accountable with going to the gym 3 times a week? Or babe, like, I don't know how to tell my friends that I don't want to hang out for Super Bowl weekend anymore. How do I do it? I feel like I'm being a schmuck, Mm-hmm. We got to communicate. I think that's the first thing. Yes. We have to express what we're feeling, because true creation is expression. Mm-hmm. To create a new life, to create a better relationship, you have to express what's on the inside. And when you do those things, life will open up to you, and submit to God. Submit to higher power. Submit to the creator. Submit to divine intelligence, infinite intelligence, the all, whatever you want to call it. We have to submit to something greater than ourselves. And that's the real truth, to kind of sum all that up. But I know some people might not have safety in that space, or they don't really know where to start. And I would just say, start with yourself.
Yes.
Go into the environment of yourself. Maybe you don't feel safe talking about God. Okay, why is that? Maybe you don't feel safe praying. Why is that? You feel safe showing your car off. You feel safe blowing the money. You feel safe flexing your muscle. Why? Because it's common. Being spiritually fit is not common. Talking about God, it's common as much.
Right.
But that's okay. But we have to get everything that's physical is spiritual before it's physical.
Right.
But we can't see it, so then we can't identify with it. But yeah, if we do those things consistently and find a group like Man Mondays, or study a Tony Robbins, or Bob Proctor, whoever, Eric Thomas, we need role models. We need blueprints. We need models of how to be. I can't expect a man to be something he's never witnessed. Then I'm wrong for even projecting that on him.
Right.
So, be yourself and be the best man you can be. But also, last but not least, go down your family's history and do some research of your DNA. Who was your father? Who was his father? Who was his father? Who was his father? And start understanding your bloodline. Because some of you might have a drinking problem. Might be addicted to porn. Might be addicted to drugs, food, whatever. We have to understand it didn't just start with us. It's passed down.
Right. And now you're taking on that responsibility of healing that part of it so that it doesn't move any further. And you are the game changer in your family at that point. So that's huge.
It's really, then you get more context and information, so you can have more grace for yourself and compassion. You're not putting all this pressure or thinking that you're weird or something's off. Like, no, this comes from, your father's side of the family.
Yeah, I think that's so important. For me, I think it's a great idea to actually talk to as a man, I don't know how that feels for you as a man. I know that as a woman, as I started doing the work, I've talked to my aunts. Both of my parents are no longer here, so I can't ask them. But from having those conversations with the past lineages, I have put puzzle pieces together. And I think for men, it's huge, because if you were taught to do things a certain way, if you were taught that, hey, I have another woman on the side, or hey, I go and drink on the weekends because that's what we're supposed to do, because that's what our family does. That's normal to you, not realizing there are ways that I can do things differently, or there are ways that I'm going to feel better within my own body by doing these certain things. So wanting to cultivate a new way of living as a man is amazing if you can get those puzzle pieces from speaking to family.
And that's what I've did, right? Because last year, the story I told you in the beginning about my mom, I didn't get more information on that until I had a client, shout out to Ashley George. She is a angel reader. She did an angel reading for me. And in that reading, my great-grandma was coming in really fast. She was like, she's coming in really fast. She want to say she apologized. She's so sorry. I was like, well, when she was living, I didn't think she liked me. But this was my mom's favorite grandma. They got the same birthday, right? And it's so interesting because they're born January 24th. I got this message on January 25th. She said, tell him, because the love he didn't receive from his mom is because I didn't love his grandmother. And his grandmother couldn't love his mom. So I was just like, all right. And then I told my mom the story, and then she gave me that part.
Oh, wow.
So you see the full circle?
Yes.
Because at that point, I'm like, I was in Hollywood all these years. I got nothing to show for. What was it all for? It was for this part. I did heal that part.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But if I didn't have that information, or I wasn't curious to go deeper, it made me feel like, wow, like my whole frequency changed.
Right. Wow.
And I'm like, see,
yes.
I could have been judging my mom all this life. My great grandmother was like, tell him we proud of him and keep going, but I really want to apologize to him. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That's the last I thought, because I think she liked me when I was a kid. I was only probably like 4, maybe 7 or 8 when she passed. I'm not sure how old I was. But anyway, it was, it's interesting when you go back and do the research. And some people don't want to know the truth. I want to know the truth. Where do I come from? Why am I like this? Why do I think this way? Who am I? and you sit and have those conversations, you're like, oh, my grandfather was a firefighter for 26 years. He's also was in a war. Oh,
Right.
well, why I'm so intense when it comes to life, where I come from, right?
Yes.
But if you don't go and do the research and have due diligence, you're just going to assume that you're wrong or something's bad about yourself.
Right. So in these groups, as far as the work that you're doing with the men, what do you feel is the biggest limiting belief or conditioning belief that men might struggle with?
I think for all men, forget the belief. I just think it's the ideology of judgment. We're so afraid of being judged. Like how it might be TMI, but I just did a colonic not too long ago. My first one. And when I say that to certain men, they're like, "Whoa, wow, bro, like you real?" And I'm like, "No, it's just part of life."
Yeah.
Like, why is that such a thing for you? Because you haven't made it common to talk about these things because of the judgment.
Right.
I know who I am. I'm fine.
Yes.
Whatever I'm saying is the truth. I don't have nothing to hide. But these things we have to bring to the table because they're affecting us the most.
Absolutely.
And I think judgment is number one. And if you take the judgment and you attach that to like another story, if I tell you this, you're going to use this against me. So guess what? I don't want to be judged, and I'm definitely not telling you what I'm going through. Because then I don't feel man enough, or I don't feel as a man if you find out this truth about me. So I'm going to just hold it. I'm going to keep it. And I'm just going to live in me until it comes out the wrong way or a crisis happen.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it's sad because I've struggled with it most of my life. I don't know how to ask for help. It's like, what you mean? Like, I don't feel safe because when I did, I got rejected. So guess what? Cool. I'll do it myself. But that's the shadow. You don't get anywhere by doing it yourself.
Right.
But when no one's there to help, what do?
Right.
Everyone doesn't grow up with family, grow up with mom and dad. So there's no excuse. I just think we got to feel safe speaking on what we're afraid to speak on in a sacred space. But this is why it's so important to really know yourself. Because the number one theme or thing that people say, yeah, but I don't want them to know that about me, or I don't want you know, someone would tell me, you don't want to share your story too soon. What are you talking about? Anything I'm going to share, you can't use that against me. That's just who I am. Yes. What you going to say?
Yes.
My vulnerability is my superpower.
Yes. And when you own your truth, it can't be weaponized against you.
Yeah. So that ideology and that thought pattern is because we don't know ourselves and we're not comfortable with our real self. And I've done so much research on myself, from human design, astrology, numerology, Myers-Briggs. So I really know like who I am, and I'm still growing into this space. But knowing enough, all the stuff I questioned as a child and grown as a man, I'm like, no, I am that person. I have to be innovative. Yes. I have to be unconventional. I'm different for a reason.
It's fascinating that we are willing to spend our time learning everything about everyone else, but we run away from ourselves. And what you touched on right now, excuse me, if men are not willing to really dig deep and work through their stuff, I feel like a lot of illness comes from that.
Yeah.
And we don't realize that. Cancer, diabetes, all these other things that just emotionally, you don't realize how it's attached. I mean, yes, foods and what they're putting, seed oils and all these things that they're using out there, but the emotional part of an illness is real.
Yeah, I got the book, Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life, and she got every ailment in the back and the emotional probable cause of it.
Yes.
Literally. And that's another thing within men and spiritual fitness. Spiritual fitness is also the movement of energy in your body, not just moving your body, but the energetics that's lying dormant, which is the pain, the suffering, the trauma, the stuff you don't talk about. You're holding that, you're keeping that energy and not releasing it. Of course, you're going to get sick. Your chest is going to get tight. You might have a heart attack. You might get diabetes because you're not moving that energy around because you don't think you can, because you're afraid to release it.
Right.
Some men are afraid to cry. And it's like, okay, a baby's just going to cry.
Right.
And it's sad, but we can change it. We have the power to change. And I think it starts with each man taking accountability and responsibility and taking a step. So I'm taking a step and say, look, I'm not perfect. I mess up. I need help too. So some of you men out there, I need you because I don't want to do it alone. I need you. So I'm letting you know, I'll go to the front. Just come behind and help me lead. Or you're going to be good.
Yes.
You know, so that's just what it's about. It's not an I thing, it's a we thing.
Absolutely.
And community is everything right now.
Yeah.
And we don't have enough of each other in the space because of judgment.
Absolutely. And, you know, to piggyback on what you just said, I would encourage the men out there, if you don't feel safe crying with somebody, there are men that will let it out and it's amazing. Mm-hmm. And I love that for them. But if you don't feel safe crying with somebody, go by yourself, be by yourself and let it out, because there is something so healing. My husband already knows that I might be moving through something and I tell him I just need to have a good cry. I have my good cry and I am like, I took an energy shot. It's amazing. Yeah. So I really encourage men who don't feel like they're safe in being able to do that for themselves. And nobody has to know. If you want to do it by yourself, I do feel that you do need to find a community of men to have that different conversation than you would with your partner or with a woman that's going to feel safe, because these men are also willing to do that for themselves. And Eric is a great resource for that. So.
Yeah, and also, too, I would like to add, what is the relationship like with your father? Because I don't care how old we get, how much money we make, how successful we are, that relationship matters so importantly. And if you don't have a father, you're going to be curious about him. And if you do and you didn't have that relationship, it's going to bother you as you get older. In that part of yourself, you don't have to figure out, but you should lean into that, because it'll give you more of like reverence for who you are. Because when that's absent, all you can do is assume and think like, why my dad wasn't there, or I wish my dad wasn't so hard on me. I just want him to be proud of me. I just want, what he say, just, I love you, son. Like, these things go into a man's psyche and mind, but he might not say it out loud. Just as much as a woman wants the emotional depth of her man or her father, a boy and a man wants it from his father.
Right.
And sometimes we don't talk about it because we're older now. We don't think it matters, but it matters a lot.
Right. Well, thank you for that. And Eric, thank you so much for our conversation.
Yes, thank you.
This was amazing.
Yeah.
Tell our audience where they can find you on Instagram, your handle, where can they locate you?
You can find me on Instagram at Eric Bigger, EricBigger. Download Spiritual Fitness Podcast. Go to my YouTube. And if you want to get into my space, just follow me on social media, because I'm all about authenticity, being real, being genuine. But see if my energy resonates with yours. Let's build rapport and let's grow. Let's evolve. Let's become. And let's help each other heal. And let's stay spiritually fit.
Yes.
Lucy, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. It has been amazing to speak with you. Yeah. And I'm excited for what you are building, and just ready to support our men. And in turn, you're supporting our women, because as the men do the work, we feel safer to show up in the world the way that we need to, and just being softer. So thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
Like I told you before, I prayed for you. I prayed for you when I prayed when I prayed for the relationship that Annabelle would have. And I do want to highlight just how you show up for her. Yeah. Because in turn, her light doesn't dim. She gets to show up for all of us.
Shine it, baby. Shine your light. Shine it. I love when you shine it. I'm happy too. Yeah.
and yes, we need more men that will allow and support our women in order to do that, their significant others, because then we get to show up in our radiance and our magnetism and just fully in who we are supposed to be.
And I'll leave it at this. Without women, there's no world.
Yes.
Everybody comes through a woman.
Amen.
So we got to treat it right.
Yes.
Love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us on Her Wisdom Collective. This has been so special. It is exciting to see that Eric took on the calling of being our first.
I know. Wow. Big responsibility. Damn. Put the pressure on me. One of one or what?
But it was so good. There was so much depth.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited for what we're cultivating here, not just with the women, but with the men. And I hope that everybody feels supported, that you all feel like you're getting some amazing, amazing gold nuggets out of this so that we can evolve and work on ourselves to show up as better version of ourselves, not just for us, but for the world out there. Thank you so much again, and see you on the next podcast episode. Thank you for joining me on today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and share. Stay tuned for future Her Wisdom Collective episodes and for future Her Wisdom Collective events. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support and look forward to the next one.